Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Well, my name is Jade, and this is The Interview. And today, my very special guest is Dr. Neesy herself, Denise Lance, and we're going to find out all about this spectacular human being who's become a good friend of mine and collaborator. And let's find out a little bit more thanks to an amazing TEDx talk that she was a part of. Are you ready, folks? Let's do it.
Hello, Casey. No, you probably can't understand me. What? So I want to use what I have to help me share my idea with you.
Growing up as a child with disabilities in the heartland, I often heard the adage of Ben Franklin, God helps those who help themselves. Since my early years were spent in therapy trying to fix me, so that I could walk, talk, and use my hands, I may have heard this more often than other people. The more I tried to live independently, the more I questioned the concept of true independence. We humans are gloriously interdependent, but we fight too hard against it. I have 4 college degrees, including a master's and PhD in special education and a second master's in English. So, I am overeducated, but guess what? I still cannot tie my shoes, drive, or feed myself with a spoon. Proud as I am of my academic accomplishments and the tasks I can do alone, there remains a nagging voice inside me, saying, "You need too much help. You are a helpless child and always will be." Society's emphasis on independence hammers me with shame. What I struggle with most is asking for help. Part of it is realizing everyone is busy and not wanting to impose. The more I think of it, though, the real problem is that I was convinced early on that needing help is a sign of weakness. A prime example is my weekly grocery shopping excursion. Some days it seems that every item I need is in reach and I can easily grab it and put it in my cart. However, on other days, every item I need is way up at the top or down on the bottom. Sometimes, a kind soul will pass and ask if I need help, but others ignore or look at me like, "Who left you unattended?" People are unsure of whether they should help people with disabilities or not, since they know we want to be as independent as possible. Recently, I have had more fellow shoppers or store employees ask whether or not I need help, which is the best approach, I think. However, at times when I could really use assistance, I nonetheless hear myself saying, "No thanks, I've got it," chasing the rolling jar of peanut butter down the aisle for 5 more minutes or giving up and having my sister go back and get it. Why can't I just accept the help when offered? because a voice still tells me I need to do it myself. Even if I am struggling and a seemingly nice person is passing by, I just can't bring myself to say, "Excuse me, could you help me get the pumpkin spice coffee creamer, please?" I am working on it, though. But needing other people, needing help, makes us human. Amazingly, people who help other people actually feel more fulfilled in their lives. It is a win-win situation. Each of us has strengths and weaknesses, so helping one another balances the universe. People say that the three most difficult words to say are, "I love you." I disagree. I think, "I need help," is much more frightening. I'll make a deal with you. I will try saying, "I need help," when necessary, if you will too. People. People who need people are the luckiest people in the world. As Barbara Streisand sang. I should go now. I'm feeling a bit verklempt. Thanks for listening.
Got it? All right. Welcome to the show. My name's Jade, and this is the interview. And wow, are you in for a treat today? I'm telling you, you are. Because my special guest is, of course, Denise Lance. And yeah, I don't even know what to say. This is going to be a challenging interview for all of us here, like including Denise. I can see her there with her beautiful smile. And I need to let you know first, and welcome everybody. Thanks for joining us. Share it out if you can. Yeah. So I need to let you know of a couple of things before we get into it, and we're going to play Denise's music and all that jazz. But the first thing I need to let you know is today, of course, the show is sponsored by our good friends at DistroKid. And I couldn't do it without this amazing company who continue to support me. They've been doing it for, 4.5 years. So thank you very much, DistroKid. And you too can release your music just like me and Denise have. And our new single is available as of right now on Spotify, Apple Music, and all the streaming services. This is actually Denise's first release on streaming services, and it is available now. We did it through DistroKid, and you too can as well for the low price of $24.99 annually. But if you use my link, distrokid.com/VIP/JadeStar, you'll get 7% off your first year. There are 3 plans you can choose from. The musician's plan, where you get one artist, a whole bunch of fancy things that are ticked here, like lyrics and a Spotify checkmark and royalty splits and using the app. You can use the Musicians Plus for $44.99 and get 2 artists. Or you can do what I do and use the Ultimate Artist, because I have way too many bands. All right, so that is $89.99, and you get 5 artists for that one, and you can add more. I think I've got 10. It's ridiculous. But thank you, DistroKid, for sponsoring the show. I couldn't do it without you, and as normal, I love you, DistroKid. All right, that was weird. Are we ready to go? Are we ready to bring on Denise? So she came into this community. Wow, it's been a while now. She came in, and I went over, like most people who join and regularly come into my channel, I'll go over and have a look at their page. And, well, I normally want to see music. And when I went over to Denise's page, I saw this thing called Toigami. I'm like, what the is Toigami? I have no idea what the hell Toigami is, and I need to know more. And as I investigated more, I was like, what? She does origami with her feet, her toes. What? That's got to be terrible. But we're going to, it's not. So, but I've got video to prove it for today. And then we got to see her hang out and chat. And then during Songtember this year, so she joined my Patreon and she sent me a song to master. And then we found out more about her and found out she had cerebral palsy and was like, holy shit, she's making music on with Logic on her fucking iPad. What? You have no excuse out there if you're making excuses. And yeah, and we've become good friends. And even so, when I did my Gladys Worthington show this year for Christmas, she stole the show. She sat in the chat making better jokes than what I was doing on my show. So to say she's the sharp is like putting it bluntly. You see what I did there? What a dickhead. All right, let's just bring her on. Now, today, just so you know, understanding her isn't always the best. She's got her sister there as well, and she's done pre-recorded answers which she is able to access with her feet on her iPad, right? Because she does. She's a foot magician. Anyway, let's get her on here. Enough dicking around, Jade. Without further ado, it is Denise Lance. Let me get some applause for her and bring her on. Denise Lance, welcome to the show. Hello.
Hi, Steve.
Hey, we're here. We've done it. We're live and rocking and rolling. I'm so excited to have you on. And can I just say, just personally, right, before we go on, and you probably hear this a lot, you know, very inspirational. I look at some of the challenges I've faced in my life and think, poor me, right? And you are a legend. You're a rock and roll legend. And we're going to find out more. So let's get to it. I hope you've got your first answer ready. This is so full on. I love it. Let's do it. So the first question I'm going to ask you is, what does music mean to you?
Music has always been my companion. My favorite artist of all time is a folk singer-songwriter named Nancy Griffith. One of her songs says, "If you can't find a friend, you still got the radio." That describes parts of my life perfectly. Music has connected me with other people. It's a memory jogger, and it's what keeps me sane. And now that I'm writing my own songs, it is a new way to share my experiences and express my catharsis. I've been a writer since I was young, but I think people are more likely to listen to a song than read my memoir or an essay. The labor activist Joe Hill said, "A pamphlet, no matter how good, is never read more than once, but a song is learned by heart and repeated over and over." I've had to live a rebellious life myself, and with the world as it is, I'm drawn to protest music right now.
That is true. If you're a friend with Denise on Facebook, she's very loud and proud about protesting about what's going on in her country at the moment. Are you happy with what's going on there at the moment? Speaking of protest music?
No.
No. No, it's not good, is it? So, and you strike me as a rebel.
Yeah.
Were you a troublemaker?
Yeah.
Of course you were.
Yeah.
Of course you were. I've seen you in my chat causing trouble all the time. So, let's talk about the music that was played. You're getting all the same questions as everyone else. The music that was played in your household growing up, Denise.
I am the youngest of 3 children. I was born when my sister was 18 and my brother was 16. So I was a surprise baby. So I heard a lot from the late 60s and early 70s. Deep Purple, Three Dog Night, Black Oak, Arkansas, Grand Funk Railroad, Lee Michaels, and Joe Cocker were in heavy rotation. Our mom loved music too. Although she grew up in the 1930s to 1940s, country Hank Williams, Hank Snow, Ernest Tubb, she loved the music her kids listened to. She loved the Doobie Brothers, Eagles, CCR, the Rolling Stones, lots of bluesy, roots Southern rock music. I think all of that influenced me. She danced around doing a wicked impression of Mick Jagger. Our dad music. I remember him listening to the popular AM country station mostly. I think the only artist he liked that I still listen to is Johnny Cash. He played harmonica to make the walk from the farm to school more interesting. He always had a harmonica laying around. I had two dachshunds, one in my teens and another in my 30s. When Dad played harmonica, the dogs would dance. One thing I will say about my dad, he always made sure I had a way to play the songs I loved. I remember him buying me a portable 8-track player when I was 3 to 4, but I was so rough on it, trying to push the buttons and drooling on it, that he returned it to Kmart several times before giving up on my being able to use it. Much later, when I complained about scratching my CDs putting them in the player, he bought me a new stereo that held 5 CDs at once. I think the last stereo I had held 60 CDs.
Wow.
So I didn't change very often. He also put a CD changer in the car, so my mom wouldn't get distracted trying to change CDs going down the road. My brother always wanted to play in a band, but never thought he played well enough to join one. His best friend was in a band in Texas and suggested that he come do sound for the band. He didn't know what that meant, but when I was 7, he moved to Houston and taught himself to use a soundboard. He's been doing that for 50 years, now from his iPad. Music is our bond, and mainly what we talk about. That and football. He's good friends with Christopher Cross, Grammy winner from the 80s. My favorite musical memory is my sister playing the triple album from George Harrison's Concert for Bangladesh. Here Comes the Sun was my favorite song on that album. Once she left the album behind when she went back to college, and I really wanted to hear that song. So I got it out of the sleeve and tried to put it up on the turntable. And I broke it. The record had a picture of a starving Bangladeshi child. And my sister had explained to me that the album was meant to make money to feed starving people. I had an intense sense of guilt as a kid, not sure why. I thought that breaking that record meant that the little boy was going to die. And I cried.
Oh, no. So the moral of the story is hide your records around Denise. Is that that's the case? Wow.
A little bit more. She has a little bit more, Jade.
There's a little bit more. Yep, go for it.
My boom boxes and stereos were always on or near the floor, so I could push buttons with my toes. I broke the door off my boom boxes so that I could just push the cassettes in easier. That's the first time I learned that my feet were more useful than my hands. My mom drove me everywhere. To a special preschool for disabled kids until I was 7. To school in my last 2 years of high school. To college, to grad school, and to work. We were always singing with the radio or cassettes.
That is a very rich and extensive list of amazing music. Grand Funk, right? Can I get it? And I know I saw Ed Zielinski agree with me here. If I can find his comment and scroll up. Where did he go? Oh, God, I'm terrible at finding this stuff. He's somewhere here. Ed Zielinski. Where's Ed's comment? I can't find it. But hey, that's what I was going to say. So, does your brother know now that you're releasing music?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't have it first. She did not tell him at first that she was writing music.
Right.
So I wrote this song. My mom sent it to him. So the first song she wrote about our mom, she sent to him.
Right. And now you've got 3 songs. It was a pretty big year last year. You've released 3 songs. That's more than Brad Example. How do you feel, Brad?
I love you, Brad.
I love Brad too. We all love Brad for some reason, right? Incredible. No, it is incredible. What a beautiful story. You know what? Brad drools a lot too, Denise. He's got we give him a lot of shit every day. He's got a drool towel next to him. Sorry, Brad, I'm exposing you, but that's what we do here. So you're in good company with Brad. When he stayed here, he drooled all over my pillows. There you go. So welcome everybody it's really nice to see 33 wonderful souls here in the chat. Thank you all for being here today. Yay, we're pulling this off. We're doing it. You know what? We're gonna play a song. We're gonna play one of your songs, and I'm gonna play the first one that you sent to me. And this is on Patreon. You sent it to me, and I was like, all right, I got to master this for you. Let me make sure we've got it here all lined up. So this is Dorothy's Not in Kansas Anymore. I'll make sure I've got all my bits lined up. And let's play this now. Are you ready, folks? Let's go. Let's do this right now. This is, sure we're all good. And let's do it. Dorothy's Not in Kansas Anymore. You ready, guys? Let's go. Yeah.
I am the daughter of Dorothy from Kansas. No, I don't move and talk like you do. I'm well aware of your sideways glances, but there's nothing about me that you should assume. Dorothy's not in Kansas anymore. I miss her every day. I miss her funny ways, but Dorothy's not in Kansas anymore. We met many a witch and men behind the curtains, but Mom and I had brains, courage, and heart. They were missing spines, that's for certain. All of them were just playing a part. Dorothy's not in Kansas anymore. I miss her every day. I miss her funny ways, but Dorothy's not in Kansas anymore. Mom never let me wear those ruby slippers. She said the power was within me. She was my front line and breaking down barriers. there's no place like home with Dorothy. Dorothy's not in Kansas anymore. I miss her every day. I miss the funny things she'd say. But Dorothy's not in Kansas anymore. We don't get to choose our mothers. I think we would have chosen each other anyway. I am forever thankful that she was mine.
You are amazing. You are just an amazing human being. Let me fix this sound up here because... So, now I'm sure you put together the whole video, didn't you?
Yeah.
Of course you did, right? And you sent me the music and I mastered it for you. And I remember you sent me the whole project too, saying if I could fix it and, have a look at... I asked you to send it to me. I see if I could try and work it out a little bit. And when I got it, I was like, you know what? This doesn't need me to do that, right? Because as musicians, we all start out and look back on our early releases, no matter how good we are or how much knowledge we have at the time, and go, I hate that song, no matter what. 5 years from now, you're going to look back and go, I hate that song so much. That's just the way of the musician. So it's for me, it was like, it's best just to leave that how it is, master it and get it out there, because each song is just going to get better and better and better. And you blow me away. Let me just fix up this sound here because I've got a lot to organise here, folks. And Denise is doing all this with her bloody feet, all right? So, thank you, Mr. Smith, also for the kind membership, and I threw out a few memberships as well. Let's put on some noise removal on there. Hopefully that doesn't affect this. We should be okay. We'll see with the next question. Let's get to the next question, which is, what was the first album you purchased and or was given, and what purchased and or was given, and what format was it on?
I'm pretty sure it was an 8-track of Three Dog Night with Joy to the World on it. I called it Jeremiah Was a Bullfrog. When I grew up, I realized it wasn't a children's song. I didn't have a job until I was 28, so the only money of my own came from Social Security or birthday money from relatives. I don't remember the first album I bought myself, but I know the first cassette I bought was REO Speedwagon's High Infidelity. It may have been an album by the greatest singer to come from Australia. One neither you or Pete ever talk about, which is disappointing because he grew up in Melbourne. I had 100 pictures and posters of him on my walls as a teenager. Can you guess who it was?
No.
Say that again, slow.
Rick Springfield. Well, all right. So to be honest, I never had posters of Rick Springfield on my wall because I grew up as a boy. And all my posters are of, wow, hang on a minute. All my posters are of long-haired men in metal bands. Maybe I should do a cover of a Rick Springfield song just for you. I'm going to note that down. Rick Springfield, right. Is he sexy? I can't even remember what he looks like, Denise. I have to find an image of. Let me have a look. Still sexy, huh? Right. Let me find some images. Hang on. Well, here he is now. Wow. He's a bit sexy, isn't he? All right. So there we go. There's Denise's. I'm not going to be silly. Denise's man right there, Rick Springfield. Hubba hubba. All right. What are these people? I should say hello. We've got to say hello to everybody in the chat, Denise. So let's pull up some names here. Thanks, Tristan Green, for being here. We've got Sean Chandler, Clayton Von Kluge, Moby Pixel. He's still playing shirtless at 60 plus. There's a lot of people doing that. We've got Jenny Jolivet. So, guys, you know the deal. Say hi to me in the chat so I can find you. We've got Balls Mix Club. We've got Costa, Clayton Von Kluge. We've got Ron Wolfstone Studio and Jenny. And we got Justine Kasprick, Thomas Christ, of course, Doug Kidder. I saw Chris Lane Sr. come in. He's getting slammed with work at the moment, so he couldn't really stay. Dave Bops, Mr. Smith, Tremor Bear. Who else do we see here? I saw Russ. There's Russ. Brad Example, of course. Lizard Day. Hello, Lizard Day. I sent you a message. Kim Harden Hudson. Hello, Kim. All the stars are out today. 36 people. See? I can't get 36 people watching me alone. Barry and Joe Glenn. They are here as well, too. Ali Gratilia. Blah, 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 blah. She's here as well, however you say her name. Loco Bob, hello Loco Bob, and I think we've got Riverbend Sim. G'day, Leela. There's Kiki Leela. I think I've got most of you. If I've missed you, there's look, Plate Head's here as well. Bloody Plate Head. All right, bloody Plate Head. All right, thanks all for joining us, you legends. You guys rock. Where are we? Where? Oh, that's what the next one was. The first concert that you went to.
Since today is Elvis's birthday, I thought I would share two quick things. Mom always played the radio in the kitchen. She was listening to the radio on August 16th, 1977, when the news broke that Elvis had died. She called out the window to me and my best friend playing in the sandbox and told us, Elvis was my first concert, although I don't remember a thing. I was only 17 months old. My dad was working in Houston for a couple of months, and the company gave everyone tickets to the rodeo. It was on his comeback tour. They didn't have a babysitter, so they just took me along.
Gone are the days when you would go and see an artist at the rodeo. Like this probably sounds weird, but when I was a kid, my mum used to take us to the rodeo here in Melbourne. She was a big rodeo fan, and all my friends thought my mum was a dickhead. And none of my friends ever wanted to go to the rodeo. But how cool is that? Do they still have rodeos in the US? I would expect so. Yeah. Yeah, you guys love that stuff. Cowboy hats, all that crazy stuff. Well, so is it actually Elvis's birthday today?
Yeah.
There you go. There you go. Happy birthday, Elvis, whatever toilet you're sitting on, whatever 7-Eleven you're at right now. Do you think he's still alive, Denise? On the fence? All right, well, who knows? Maybe he is. Empirism, hello too. And I missed Forest of the Wolf as well. Hello, Forest of the Wolf. And Lewis Cook. I've hopefully got you all. Where are we on this? We're on this question. Well, we're flying through this. We're doing good. For those of you who don't know, let me explain while Denise is, I don't want to rush her or anything like that, how we're doing this. So Denise is coming through on one camera, on her one iPad, which is her camera, right? And she's got her iPad on the floor so she can pick the answers to the questions. And we've connected a Bluetooth speaker to the iPad and put it up next to the other iPad so you can hear the sound. This is the kind of ingenuity that we've had to come up with on this bloody show. It's so much fun, eh? All right, so the next question is around school and music.
In elementary school, we alternated PE and music every other day. My music teacher was nice and always let me do whatever I could. I got mad on the days when we got to pick any instrument we wanted off the shelf. Everyone would run over and grab what they wanted. I always wanted the cymbals or maracas, but the obnoxious boys always got to the cymbals first. Fourth grade was the year we learned the recorder. I had a recorder from my brother and sister's school days, so I figured I would blow into it like I did when I played with it at home. Miss Downs was ready with a better option, though. She sat me at the piano and taught me the notes everyone was playing on the recorder. I figured out how to hold my left hand over my right hand and isolate my pinky, so that's how I played. I can still play Mary Had a Little Lamb. I have always been fascinated by pianos. My first grade teacher had a bright green piano, and if I was sick and had to stay in from recess, she let me pound the keys. My mom's best friend had a piano that I played with all the time. My aide, Mrs. Steele, played the piano, and her husband bought her a big, fancy organ for Christmas one year. I was enthralled with that organ and begged to play with it every time I visited her house. One night, Dad was late coming home and hadn't called to say he was working overtime. Mom was worried, standing by the door, looking out when he pulled into the driveway. While she was reading him the riot act, he went to the bed of his old truck and unloaded the organ. Not nearly as fancy as Mrs. Steele's, but pretty darn cool. We had a Sears catalog surplus store, and being a Depression-era kid, he often stopped by to look for bargains. I then ordered songbooks from Sears that had the numbers above the keys and played that organ for several years.
Well, listen, you don't get any special treatment around here. When you said that you love to play with the organ, you know, you know, I'll bet,
I knew that was coming.
I'll bet you did, huh? See, I can't help myself. I'm a dick, right? It just is what it is. So now I find that incredibly interesting. We, as human beings, we are just so we're like weeds, aren't we? There's always a way to find to get around things, and for you to be able to hold your hand like that and be able to play the piano, just it blows me away how we just continue to push through as human beings. We are weeds, aren't we? We're just weeds. Thomas says, I knew that was coming. Yeah, well, all right. I'm predictable. Whatever. I'm a predictable piece of shit. That's just me. But Russ is exactly the same, Denise, right? So Russ is paralyzed, and it just blows me away that he can make music the way he does. And it just, yeah, we are just, we find ways around things. And that's so incredible. So incredible. Now, let's talk about, I think that was that question. The next question, you're right. The next question I think is, make sure we're on the right page, is the challenges growing up with cerebral palsy as a kid. Is that the next question you've got? Awesome. Let's go.
I attended a preschool for kids with disabilities until age 7. Then I started public school in first grade. Kids with disabilities as severe as mine didn't go to public schools back then. I started in September 1975. The law that said kids like me had a right to a free, appropriate public education was passed that November. So I was one of the first students to be included. I believe that the school thought it would be less costly to serve me through public school than bus me to a school for students with severe disabilities. I really think it was this, and my parents' insistence that I not be bused 2 hours each way, that made them allow me to go to public school. Not so much the law. They acted as if they were doing a favor. I was not included in a regular classroom at first. I was placed in a class for students with learning and cognitive disabilities, but I only stayed 2 days. When my mother got a call that I could not stay, she was horrified. Her mind raced to think what I had done to get kicked out so soon. It was not beyond imagination that I could have done something that would have warranted my being kicked out. I was, let's just say I could be a little shit. The problem was that I answered all the questions and would not let the other students have a chance. Not knowing what to do with me, they gave me a homebound teacher, and then I joined my first grade class in the afternoon. In second grade, I was included all day with a full-time aide and continued that way until I graduated. All but one of my teachers were great. We don't have time to talk about my fifth grade teacher. She was a... Hit the mute button. My teachers were patient with my speech when I answered questions. The school thought that I couldn't learn phonics because I had a speech impairment. That was one of their ridiculous notions. The other was that they wouldn't let me use my crutches at school for fear I might trip someone. So I walked with someone holding on to me, walked on my knees like I did at home, or bracing myself against walls. I worked really hard practicing walking at home and finally learned to walk without crutches in a few months. My aide from second to fourth grade had an education background, so we had language arts in a room alone. There, she taught me sight reading. She encouraged me to dictate stories and poems, and I think that sparked my love for writing. I learned early that writing was going to be an important skill for me because I could let people know what I knew and what ideas were in my mind in writing better than speaking. I have always wanted to write lyrics, but didn't feel I had the musical knowledge to put them into actual songs. I wrote a lot of parodies to songs in high school.
So you're a regular Weird Al Yankovic.
I attended
Is there more to that? No. All right. This is the thing. This is the thing. And I remember being at primary school, Denise, and we had disabled kids in our classes. They were never separated. Never separated, ever. And a lot of people in my primary school, and Costa's from Australia, I'm sure he had the same thing. A lot of people, because the kids were disabled, thought they were stupid or something. And it's got to be so challenging to get people on board to realize this is a physical thing. This is nothing. This has nothing to do with the brain up here. Obviously, because you are, highly educated. And I remember this being a thing at school for these kids, right? They got picked on as being stupid. And it was like, dude, they're killing you at maths. What's happening? Like, very frustrating.
I
Now,
was very lucky. My peers were rarely cruel or made fun of me. There were kids who did not have disabilities who were treated so much more cruelly than me, just because they had bad hygiene or odd personalities. I was just accepted as I was. Since I was included since first grade, my peers just got used to me. But the great thing was that I wasn't tolerated. I was truly included. I had a best friend in every grade and was invited to birthday and slumber parties. When parents of students with disabilities are asked what they want most for their children, they often say they want their kids to be invited to birthday parties. It seems simple, doesn't it? When I read this, I knew how lucky I had been. I think my biggest struggle for acceptance was in junior high, as they called it then. But isn't that when everyone feels left out and does not know to which group they should belong? It was the mid-80s and the key to acceptance was designer jeans. So my mom bought me a couple of pairs of Calvins and Jordashes, and I even spent before school time with the elite girls for a time in 7th grade. I soon realized how shallow they were and spent more time with friends with whom I had more common interests.
You are right. Like, was that still going? All right, I'm just making sure. I'm trying to do the right thing. But it is true, and I'm sure it's still true today. Kids get picked on just for their clothes. And I'm sure everybody in the chat agrees. The clothes or your haircut or the jumper, the cut of your jib or whatever you're wearing was a reason to isolate people and cut them out of things just because of the price parents paid for some clothing. Or red hair. Red hair is the other one. If you had red hair, you got punched up. And how can you change that, right?
Yeah.
So the popular girls sucked balls. Is that what you were saying, Denise? Yeah. I bet they do now. They're probably on OnlyFans right now doing that. Let's play something else. We're gonna skip ahead because I never asked you about this in the questions that I sent. So what I'm going to do now is play this, if I can find it, what I'm doing here. I'm so organized. So you have a memoir. Now, from what catch me up to speed on this. So you've written this memoir, and it was available, and now it's not, but it's going to be available again.
Yeah.
Right. And will this be available as a audio book?
I'm going to make one with my own work.
You're going to read your own work.
Yeah.
With the technology that we have now. See, now, and we'll talk about AI as well too, because here's an example of where AI has merit, right? Remember when they first came out with AI and they were like, hey, it's going to like cure cancer and it's going to help people with disabilities. And then they just went, you know what, fuck it, we're just going to create Suno and we're going to steal all your art and music, right? And that sucks. But here, in Denise's case, this is where this shines. Now, she's got a little ad for this. So I'm going to play the ad for this. Oops, let me get it all ready. And I've got to make sure Denise can hear the sound. Let me just cue this up. So her book is called, and it's the title of today's show, The Unlikely Ballerina. And make sure she can hear sound. So let's play this for you all. And we'll be back in a second. This chat, you weirdos. All right, let's do it. Let's play this. Yay. Whoops, I hit the wrong button. Yay. Our amazing moderator, Thomas, who is the god of all moderators, Denise, has found it on Amazon. So there's the link. So if you haven't already gone and bought it, shame on you. Wow. Wow. I'm sitting here, Denise, feeling like I've done nothing with my life talking to you.
It used to look.
Well, I missed that.
It took 8 years.
8 years to write. Wow. And I'm sitting here thinking, Jeez. You're just incredible. I'm going to get a hold of this myself. I want to read this. I'll bet it's funny as fuck. Now, she did warn everybody there was going to be swearing in today. So here we are. It's happening, right?
Yeah.
But 8 years is as Clayton Von Clue says, 8 years is dedication. Well, you know, that's
On for 8 years. It was on and off writing for
Yeah.
8 years.
On and off, right? Yeah, because
I was working full-time too. She was working full-time at that time too.
right. It's only $5 on Kindle. Wow, there you go. So I would. I don't have a Kindle, but I'm going to get it after this show. Go and support our amazing friends. So I mean, that's the thing. When you write something that's a memoir, like life gets in the way, right? It's like my album I'm trying to release. You know, the album that we've been talking about for 5 years on. Again, I say it's taken 15 years, but in amongst that, there's been like years where I haven't even looked at it, right? So it's not even that long. It's you know, you have breaks and shit gets in the way. Let's go with our next question. If I can find what I'm doing. Our next question is 41 of you here. You guys rock. Love you all. From school to fending for yourself in the big old evil world.
To be honest, I didn't actually grow up until I was 36, after my mom passed away. My mother and I were inseparable, except for the time I was in school. I would guess I spent at most a 2-month total away from her in all those years. Just when she was in the hospital, she had breast cancer twice, or had to go out of town. I either stayed with my sister or my best friend Heidi, a neighbor girl who is 3 years older than me. I started my first full-time job as a research associate at the University of Kansas in 2000. We still lived in Missouri, where I grew up. My mom drove me to work, which was an 1.5-hour drive each way for a couple of days a week, and I worked from home the rest of the week. Working from home was frowned upon back then, and my boss really wanted me to be in the office more to collaborate with colleagues. Since I lived with my parents, I had been saving up money for a down payment on a house closer to work. My sister lived in a small town on the outskirts of Kansas City, about 50 miles from Lawrence. She and I had talked about Mom, Dad, and I moving there eventually, so she could help care for our parents as they aged. In October of 2002, my dad started showing signs of either paranoid schizophrenia, PTSD from his time in World War II, or a bit of all of this. He was having hallucinations that put himself, Mom, and I at risk. so he had to be hospitalized. That same week, a sign went up in the vacant lot next door to my sister's house. My sister called me one day, and I agreed that we needed to be closer for her to support Mom and Dad, and so I could spend more time at my KU office. I had been able to save a good down payment by living at home. My sister told me that builders were about to put up a 2-story, inaccessible house on the lot next to her. But if I bought it quickly, they could change the plans to an accessible ranch. With Dad getting sick and time running out, she urged us to move closer so she could help. So I bought the lot and started building a house. My dad passed away a month before the house was finished. Mom and I moved in the next month. 2 years later, the same week in May, she passed away from a brain tumor. My sister took over as my caregiver after Mom died. She worked as an administrative assistant and assistant to me when I needed help in the same office at KU. So we got ready and went to work together for 12 years. We hired young girls to come help me in the evening with dinner and a shower. When she retired, I had no way to get to work, so I worked from home a couple of years and then decided to retire early myself. My 2 greatest accomplishments are building that house and living without my mom for 20 years.
Wow. What do you say? I can empathize. I lost my mum when I was 14. And you're just so lost, aren't you? You know, your mum is everything. Uh, yeah. You own your own fucking house. And I don't own a pot to piss in, Denise.
I don't anymore. You what? I don't have that house anymore.
Don't
She doesn't have that house
don't
anymore.
have it anymore, right? Wow. You are incredibly strong, and we should, since you mentioned your sister who is there. Do you want to come and say hello to us and just jump on the camera? You deserve to come and say hello because you are amazing as well. Hello.
How do I get in the picture?
There you are. Yay. I'll give you a full screen. There you are. Thank you so much for all your help that you've done today as well. And, I mean, you know, what you do, Denise is just incredible. And
She is incredible.
and are you excited about her new music career?
I am.
How did you like her first song? You shouldn't have told me this.
The first song was great. I think the thing that I was telling you about was listening
Right.
to building the song
Right, building the song.
over and over and over.
Well, you know, that's not a thing. That's a thing that every family has to deal with, right? It's the recording over and over and hearing the mistakes back and forward, and yeah. Well, you rock. We love you too. So thank you for helping out today and helping all the time, right? You're awesome. There we go. So, what are we going to do now? Let's talk about your education, because your accomplishments are like, I'm embarrassed to even talk about my school accomplishments compared to you. I think most of us are. You are an absolute legend. Let's find out more, Denise.
I have 4 college degrees, a bachelor's in English and psychology, a master's in special education, and a PhD in special education with an emphasis in assistive technology. Later, I added another master's in English because I always felt like that is what I should have studied in grad school to begin with. I didn't have a computer until the summer before my junior year in college. Until then, I typed with a typing stick my dad made. I only typed about 8 words per minute, so it was getting too difficult for me to keep up. In fact, I quit school after my first semester in college because it was too physically demanding. It was the first time I really felt disabled. I could do that work intellectually, but my ideas came too quickly for me to type, and I can't read my own handwriting, so I felt very stuck. So I slid through the quicksand of despair, each day losing even more hope. After a few months of watching me sink and not having a way to help me, Mom came in, sat on the side of my bed, and asked, "Are you going to lay there and feel sorry for yourself for the rest of your life, or get up and do what you can?" Then she left. At first, I was angry. She knew full well there was nothing I could do. But she also knew that I did not want to be thought of as a quitter or lazy. I lay there a few hours more. Maybe it occurred to me from somewhere I should try again. I got up, asked Mom and Dad to come to the dinner table to talk, and said, "I want to go back to Jewel." "Okay," Mom said, barely suppressing a grin. Her strategy had worked. "If that's what you want, it's fine with me," Dad agreed. So I went back to school and didn't quit until I got my doctorate. My life completely changed when I got the computer. Work did not take as long, and I had more time for fun. Email and the web are great because I can shop, do research, contact colleagues and friends, and manage most of my life through my computers. That's why I decided to go to grad school and study assistive technology. I wanted other people, especially young kids, to have it easier than I did. I began teaching an online course in including students with disabilities in general education right before getting a full-time job, and kept doing that in the evenings for extra money. After my dad passed away, I decided that I wanted to go back to school and get the English graduate degree I probably should have gotten in the first place. Now that I knew I could teach online, I wanted to try to make my dream of becoming an English teacher come true. So I got an MA in English through online classes and eventually taught writing and literature at a local university for a few years as well.
Is there anything you can't do? Oh, hang on, you said that. Yeah. Tie your shoes. Yeah.
Well, my nose.
It's I'm sure somebody said that to you before. As the words were coming out of my mouth, I'm like, what the fuck, Jade? What are you doing? Because there was something I was going to bring up there, and I've just got lost in my own stupidity. I get well soon to Emperism, who's not feeling it well. English. Just all this stuff. Like you said, so now I know how to get to you, Denise. You've just given me ammo, and you shouldn't give me ammo. So whenever I really want to push you, I'll just tell you, you're being lazy and you're no good. Come on, what do you want to do? Just sit around and do nothing. Get that song finished. Right. That's the way to get you motivated. We need to do our sponsor read for today for DistroKid. So we'll come back and we've got more music to play, folks. We've got a premiere here today. because before I do the sponsored read, because as I said at the top of the show, our song, The Maze, which was on the charity album, has officially today been released on all streaming services, on Spotify, Apple Music. It's everywhere. Denise's first song that's been released on streaming services. Plus, she went ahead and created the video clip for the song, which we're going to premiere here today. And then afterwards, I'll put the link in and you can go over to her channel and please give her a subscribe and a like and go and support the song over there. So let's do the my sponsored ad for DistroKid and make sure we're all good. Can't find it. There we are. DistroKid. DistroKid. Of course, I can't find it now. Where's it gone? What? I'll find it in a second. Downloads. Where are we? DistroKid. There. DistroKid. Awesome. There it is. There it is. All right. So my my bloody Apple stopped working again. All right. Let's do this. Quick look. All right. Technology. We love technology. Let's do this now. Make sure Denise can hear what's going on. And let's hear a word from today's sponsor, DistroKid. This presentation is proudly sponsored by DistroKid. Introducing DistroKid, your ultimate music distribution solution. For just $29.99 a year, DistroKid empowers you to release unlimited tracks on all major music platforms worldwide, including Spotify, Apple Music, TikTok, and so many more. Plus, use my link distrokid.com/VIP/JadeStarr and get 7% off your first year. You'll also keep 100% of your royalties and gain access to valuable tools like instant verification on Spotify and detailed revenue analytics. Don't let your music go unheard. Join DistroKid today and take your music career to the next level. Thank you, DistroKid, for sponsoring today's presentation. Absolutely. Thank you so much, DistroKid. Yeah, look, I wouldn't be able to do this show. We get 2 sponsorships a month from DistroKid, and they've been an absolute lifesaver for me, not only to sponsor this show. I was using DistroKid way before they sponsored this show, way before. I've been releasing music with them for the longest time. Use my link, sign up, get the deal. Do the stuff, release your music, and it's all good in the hood. Let's bring Denise back on because I want to talk about advocacy. Now, I'm guessing you've done advocacy for disability advocacy. Is this a question we did? We did? Yeah. I couldn't remember. I sent the questions to you so long ago.
To identify as disabled for many years. I actually fought attempts of others to have me interact with people with disabilities. I believe this comes from attending preschool for children with disabilities, most of whom had intellectual disabilities. They told my mom several times that I would not play with the other kids and kept to myself. I knew I was different, and I wanted people to know that I was not like them. I felt the need to separate myself from those kids. When I went to school, I tried everything possible to be like everyone else and to prove my cognitive ability. I wanted nothing to do with the kids in special ed. I am ashamed that I felt that way about other human beings. My other advocacy has focused on trying to harness technology to help others and help make technology accessible. I was able to do some of this as a research associate, but not nearly as much as I wanted. We had grants that focused on other things. So that dictated what I did. I wasn't able to relocate to another university that had a more robust assistive technology program. So I wrote freelance articles and did other things to keep myself in the AT arena. I worked after hours on my website, the Virtual Assistive Technology Center, which I had started as a doctoral student. Because most technology designed for people with disabilities is expensive, my website listed free and cheap software that helped disabled people access computers. I was surprised when my little site was mentioned in national computer magazines and even on a technology show on MSNBC before it became a 24-hour news channel. My site's still available on the Internet Archive. I also follow politics and law and policy changes that impact disabled people and people sidelined because of race, ethnicity, sexual orientation, or gender. I write letters to Congress, but in my state, it's like sending a fax or email into a black hole. Unfortunately, the current administration is trying to dismantle all the work disability justice advocates have fought so hard to gain, although it has never been as accessible as it needs to be. I wish I had the energy to be more involved in protests and lobbying for our rights. But there's a risk in speaking out, and I live on Social Security. I know people whose benefits have been threatened by speaking out online. I volunteered on Elizabeth Warren's 2020 presidential campaign because she was the only candidate who had a solid set of plans designed to improve the lives of Americans with disabilities. One of my goals in songwriting is to call out ableism and express what it is like to live as a disabled person. I've never heard songs that do that. That's the future of my advocacy, I think. Jade, I must tell you that songs like Me and My Brain, Truth, and Do What Makes You Happy inspired me to write more explicitly about the experience of being disabled. Because I feel so deeply what you say about people hating you for just existing and being yourself. It's not the same as being trans, I understand, but there are overlapping themes. I hope people find something with which to connect in my songs as well.
Wow. Thank you. This is Denise's website. It's still up on Wayback Machine, and she's been fighting just as long as I have, it seems, for rights. And it is interesting, isn't it, Denise, that it seems like we are going backwards. Like all this work that so many of us have done, be it trans, be it disabilities, so many things. Like I remember, like kids who I grew up with disabilities didn't have the stuff that they have now just on the streets, right? Just like with like bumps and stuff on the footpath for blind people, and you know all the stuff that they've tried to implement. But you are right. There's people in power who want to dismantle and make it harder, and it just doesn't make any sense. It's almost, let me say, fascist in a way. Because we can't use the N word, can we? Can't use the word Nazi because people get upset about it, even though it's just a blanket like brand for fascism. It's just an example of a brand for fascism. Yeah. Blows me away, Denise. Even here, look at this. Even back here on this old website, you've got an animated image of bloody toes typing on a bloody keyboard. You were way before your time. Hey, thanks, Brad, for the donation. What's going on? You don't need to do that, Brad. But thank you.
Hand cut thought. I hand cut one thought.
You hand created the website.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not hand.
Not hands, but feet.
Your feet created the fucking website. Of course. I was with you, but now you've lost. Have you ever thought of doing stand-up comedy, Denise?
Yeah. I would apply for SNL.
I missed that.
I would like to work for SNL.
She would like to be on the writing team for Colbert.
You know, Colbert could probably deal with a little bit of help lately because, well, he's been cancelled completely. He's been fired completely, and I'd give you a job. I'll give you a job writing comedy. Absolutely. Socialism is the opposite of fascism, says Thomas. Yeah. What are you going to say? Here we are. We're in a world at the moment where people like trans people at the moment are being eradicated. That's basically what they're doing. People with disabilities, they don't give a fuck. They are looking. This is a reality. And yeah, I don't want to get too political and all that stuff, but it's happening. For God's sake, somebody was shot in the face yesterday. This is where we're at. Very strange times. It is what it is. Let's move forward. I'm still laughing about it. Handcrafted. I think the next question I have here is living in a world where people may overlook you because of disability. I think.
Many people assume that I have cognitive disabilities. It depends on my mood whether it bothers me. Sometimes I wish I had a neon sign above my head that says I have a PhD. People baby talk or talk very loud to me. Since I always have someone with me, people often talk to them instead of me. My mom would just talk for me, but my sister usually redirects the person to talk with me. It's usually in medical environments where this happens. I usually counter with the most sophisticated vocabulary I can fit into the context. I don't use a communication device outside my home, mainly because it would be a hassle to take a shoe and sock off to access the iPad. I really should figure out a way to use it more.
I'm so glad I didn't listen to these answers beforehand. But you are right. People in the medical industry are the worst. Every time I've been in hospital, it's probably the worst. I get misgendered anywhere. And it's like, it's on the fuck, like, yeah. They're supposed to be. Folks, we got to get a GoFundMe going to get a hat for Denise that has a neon sign on the top of it that she can wear everywhere. I know you've got the one behind you. I know you've got your neon sign there, but you need a hat. Oh, man. And here I was really nervous about today, and I'm just pissing myself laughing. So, yeah, look, it's the case, the medical industry, and I'm sure you've had to deal with it a lot, had to deal with these people. Do you feel a sense of power being smarter than everybody in the medical industry?
Not they tell me what to do.
You help them when they don't know what to do.
Yeah. That me.
See, I tell you, one of the things I was worried about today, and I'm just, you know me, I'm honest. I didn't want to sit here and talk to you like, I think sometimes you talk to people and slow things down. Hello there. Like, I didn't want to think that I was coming across like that because, it's a thing that people naturally do because they assume things. And I hope I'm not coming across like that because I would never want to come across like a I hit the wrong button. Like a there we go. That's better. So the next question I have for you is about the TEDx talk. How did you get involved in the TEDx talk?
I did this on a whim. I saw the advertisement for the contest for a speaking spot. I had moved 45 minutes away from my sister to try living more independently. The theme of that year was question everything. And at the time, I was questioning this idea of independence. Because from what I could see from my friends' lives, no one was surviving on their own. Everyone needed help of some kind. Why had I been told all my life that I needed to be as independent as possible? So I sat down and wrote my speech in about an hour, had my sister video me using the iPad to speak it, entered the contest, and won the spot.
And you did so well. It's. I remember the first time I saw it, I literally cried and laughed and just, and what's interesting too is that talk that you did is the basis of our song that we did. There's the lines of interdependence and me getting to know the song now and learning it to sing myself. I hear that TED talk every time I try and sing the song. And it ties in so well. It's a TED talk worth watching. So if you've missed the show, if you came in at the start, go back and watch the replay. I will put the link in the description to Denise's TED talk that she did because it's just wicked. Toigami. Should I just play the video and show everybody? All right, let's do that. I'll make sure we got the sound turned up. We're going to do Toigami. So if you don't know what Toigami is, you're going to get a crash course lesson in 2 minutes 30. Let's do it. You ready? Let's go. We're going to bring our voices back here. All right. Thomas says it's amazing what the human body is capable to do, compensate for what it can't. Look at that. That is fuck me drunk. Denise, you are just amazing, right? I would never have thought. I couldn't do that with I can do that with 8 of my hands. Are you kidding me? I think I've tried before and I end up with a paper aeroplane. That's about it. Incredible stuff. So Denise's page, so she got 2 YouTube channels. Most people only have one, but Denise has 2 YouTube channels, one with her music, which is Dr. Neesy. Links are in the description. And the one that you just saw there, which is Denise Toagami, which has all of that stuff on it. I'm pretty sure you answered a question, so I'll let you.
Days of summer. There's the inspiration for Torigami came from the movie 500 Days of Summer. There's a scene where Tom is looking at a tree in Summer's apartment. I thought it was cool. I looked up YouTube videos on origami, bought some paper, and started practicing. My family was like, "Neesy, what are you going to do with origami paper?" I said. "You'll see. I haven't folded anything in a long time because I have severe osteoporosis in my lower back, and there are few days when I can sit and lean over long enough to make anything. I miss it. I now use Procreate to paint on my iPad, so I have a visual artistic outlet as well. I would like to try merging my art and music in videos at some point."
So, and I want to thank also Revenant for joining us. Was there more to that? No. All right. Look, everybody's impressed. We're all impressed. We're all sitting here going, Jesus, I can't. I'm literally speechless, right? I'm totally speechless. Just blown the absolute fuck away. To do origami with your toes. I love you, Denise. I love you so much. I think you're an absolute inspiration and you just rock my world so much.
Yeah.
So much. Back at you. What was I going to say? Listen to me. I'm so speechless right now. Let's talk about music, right? Because hang on, we'll talk about iPad because you use Procreate now to do art. The iPad obviously has changed your life. It's obviously like having a computer would have been like, obviously you had a website. Computers sped everything up, helped you achieve so much more, and now you've got an iPad where you can just take a piece of glass and drop it on the floor and control it. Somebody asked earlier what you make your music in, GarageBand or Logic?
I mainly use my iPad, but I also have a Mac Mini and a mini PC with a few VSTs that aren't available on iOS. My vocals so far have started out in Suno and then converted to a voice I trained using samples of my singing on kits.ai. I have Synthesizer V on my PC, which converts MIDI to vocals, but I don't have enough musical knowledge to use it effectively. I tried making my own melody and putting lyrics to that in my first song, but it was very tedious, and because I use a regular mouse with my foot, it was causing knee pain. I have carpal tunnel knee and injured my meniscus years ago, so I can only do the mouse in short spurts. I mainly use Logic and AUM. I like Decent Sampler, Piano Motifs, Atom 2, Piano Tech, Pure Synth Platinum, Soundbox. I have one VST of a Taylor guitar from Ample Sounds that I use, mainly because Nancy Griffith used Taylor guitars. They even made a special edition in her name. They only made 200, so I doubt if I'll ever have one. I use kits.ai to convert vocals into my voice. I do use Suno to create vocals because I don't know anything about singing or phrasing. I just generate until it comes close to what I imagine. I am trying to get away from depending on AI. I like using Moise's Studio, and KITS has added the ability to create lines of vocals from lyrics and edit pitch. So maybe I can get away from Suno altogether. I would like to play with samples and effects more this year. I would also be open to collab with others. Maybe just writing the lyrics and not doing the vocals.
Wow. I think this is where I think AI is very important. This is the stuff they promised us. This is what we wanted. I watched a video on this last week. I saw a guy talking about AI saying, remember when they first announced AI, how it was going to help people with disabilities first? What happened? And I'm sure it is, right? And I did a show, Denise, where I trained an AI with Pete Johns' voice. And then I put Pete Johns' voice to Slayer. And it was funny as fuck. But this is where I just think, like, I know we talk a lot about AI on here and I slam it a hell of a lot. But this is where this is the line I draw where I'm like, no, this is where it's incredible. And I'm sure you are of the same opinion with these people just prompting nonsense and then going, I'm a musician. Where someone like you, who's so desperate to make music and create and now have this tool, you don't want to get lumped in with that group of people. No. But can I just say something else too? You mentioned using AUM. It took me 2 years to find the balls to start using AUM. And you just, when I started this channel, Denise, I had AUM from the beginning, and it seemed too complicated for me, and now I use it every day. So it blows me away that your knowledge on music stuff is really incredible. And if there is anybody, look, Lizard Day says, I would like to collaborate with Denise. So you've got Lizard Day.
Wow.
I know, right? That's what I was like when I collaborated with Lizard Day. She's a genius. Look at, even Pete John says, I still haven't found the balls to start using AUM, and it's my job. Well done, Pete. You've got homework to do.
I love that all from you.
Because of me.
Yeah.
Well, hey, that makes it worth everything. That's what this was about. It's funny how we find each other. Yeah, we find each other on this crazy little planet. I'm sitting here with nothing to do during the pandemic. I feel useless, worthless. I feel like I've got nothing to offer the world anymore. And I start this channel, and 5 years later, I'm releasing music with you around the other side of the world. We truly live in good times, apart from politics. I'm going to play a song because you released a song for Songtember this year, and then we're going to bring it all home, and then we're going to close by playing the premiere. So this was your Songtember song called Rudd and Jay. So I'm just going to play it now, get all this lined up. It was Songtember this year, wasn't it? Yeah. All right, let's do it. So it says here, my first Songtember song recounts an overheard exchange between a father and son who later became My colleagues and teachers, with verses telling their story. The chorus weaves in the philosophy of the young man's parents, disability advocates, guided by the 4 C's: concepts, constituencies, contexts, and consequences, culminating in a call to action to the ongoing fight for disability rights in America. Let's do it.
I'll never forget the first time I saw them by Hayworth Hall one sunny spring day. A man stood looking up a steep walkway. His son, 20-something, ambled along. Not much for talking, wearing a backpack, but not a student. He worked in the office, a job done with pride. While his mom and dad worked tirelessly to give him and others enviable lives. It's the concepts that ground us, the truths that we know, the constituencies fighting so children can grow, the context we push in, the laws that we change, the consequences shine in the lives we arrange, the 4 C's hold when the system breaks, a promise we won't let the world say. As his son drew closer into view, Jade turned, "Bull, my man, I've waited all day to see you." It was such a lovely thing to hear. It made me smile. As time moved on, it became abundantly clear. The love in that voice held no trace of veneer. It wasn't a script an actor would run. It was joy, pure and simple, from father to son. It's the concepts that ground us, the truths that we know, the constituencies fighting so children can grow, the context we push in, the laws that we change, the consequences shine in the lives we arrange, the 4 C's hold when the system breaks, a promise we won't let the world forsake. Jay left so quickly one January morning, his heart giving out. His dad grappled with grief and doubt one late night years later. On a heavenly sidewalk, Jay was waiting for a dad. My man, I've waited all day to see you.
First Songtember entry. Did it feel good to get in a Songtember song last year?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's hard work, isn't it, in a month, let alone just getting a song out. Like we all know, getting a song out is bloody hard. Doing it in a month, thanks, Pete Johns, you asshole.
Yeah.
So that's available on Denise's second channel, Dr. Neesy. Hello, Camp G, mate. What's going on? And Zach Thong, welcome. Pete says Denise crushed it for her first Songtember. Even contributed some haze. Exactly. So on Pete's song, where we all did the haze, Denise sent in some haze as well. You are such an important part of this community. If I don't see you, I get worried, right? Hello, Studio 6+1. I see you there now. Because, you know, we were going to do this interview way back in December, November. But the circumstances didn't work out. We were kind of waiting for the Maze to be finished and the charity album to come out. Then you got sick and you've had some hospital stuff you've had to attend to. Are you doing better health-wise after all your hospital stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I had kidney stones.
Yep. Kidney stones, and they're all gone?
Most.
Most of them. Fuck kidney stones. Did I have a question around that? I don't think I did. What are we up to? So I'm finding a voice with music software. I think we're up to, how did you find this YouTube music community?
Started out as a goal for 2024 to learn to play just one Nancy Griffith song on a real guitar with my feet. I have seen people do that, so I thought, I can fold origami with my feet. Why not? However, I didn't understand the mechanics of playing guitar, holding down notes with one appendage and strumming with the other. And my musical knowledge ended with playing notes that matched the numbers on my organ. So I thought about learning virtual drums, but I really couldn't keep time. Next, I found synesthesia and thought I could learn the song on piano and started looking into MIDI. I had heard of it, but that's about all. I couldn't find a MIDI file for Love at the Five and Dime, but I found other songs I liked. Then I realized that in order to play chords, I needed to hold more than one key at once. So I couldn't do that with just my big toe. Most people would have quit at this point and started binge watching TV, but I am not most people. So I turned to YouTube, which is where I learned origami. I thought I would see what I might be able to do with GarageBand, so that brought me to Pete and Patrick. Then I found Vortex on Mobile Music Pro. I can hear Russ groaning. Then I learned there were all kinds of music apps for iOS. And even more importantly, there were apps that allowed you to play chords by holding one note. Vortex was talking about these apps and mentioned that Jade Starr had great tutorials on how to use them. So I searched and found you. I have to share my first impression of you and apologize.
Uh-oh.
I thought some British dude was trying to be Aussie. Sorry. After I watched a few of your videos, I went to your channel page and saw your pronouns and thought, okay, so she's an Australian chick who vapes a lot, cusses as much as mom, and is always talking to someone named Thomas Christ. I don't know how long I watched before I realized there was a chat. Then I lurked for a long time. I think the first time I said anything was when you had Brad at your place and you were talking about health. Then someone asked me if torigami meant what they thought. And I started getting to know people and recognized what a positive and supportive community this is. I knew I had found a place I could fit in, even though I'm not a musician and hadn't written a song yet.
Well, can I give you 1,000 points for the Vortex comment? That's
I had it.
it was perfect. It was absolutely perfect, and I'm sure Russ laughed his head off because Russ and Vortex never really saw eye to eye. There's a lot to unpack in that answer right there. I am so glad you found through Pete and Patrick and then over to me, over to Vortex first and then to me and now Thomas, because, that again, that's it. This is what this is about. I didn't start this to, I tell you what I didn't start this to do. I didn't start this to earn a living. And now that that's a thing, the fun kind of gets sucked out of it. But it's these interviews. It's getting to hang out with amazing, inspirational artists each week. Well, not every week, but yeah. Look at Russ. Damn Vortex. We don't know where Vortex has gone, Denise. He's disappeared. He hasn't released content for like 2 years.
Yeah.
It's a mystery. We'll never find out where Vortex has gone. But thank you. Look,
It's a vortex.
he always
Vortex.
Vortex.
Vortex. What is the vortex?
Fuck me. Oh, I hope you stop watching this. Russ thinks he's been buried somewhere. Didn't he? He turned himself into an NFT. I think. You know, the interesting thing, I interviewed Vortex, right? And the interesting thing was he always talked about himself as we. He'd go, welcome back to our channel, where we, and I'm like, who the fuck is we? It's just you, mate.
Maybe you not right.
Maybe he was
Not right.
Mate, I'd be sad, but maybe he was what?
Not right.
non-binary.
Yeah.
Non-binary, or maybe he had multiple personalities. I don't know. Maybe he was talking about him and his friends inside his head. I don't know. But look, ultimately, though, no matter what we think or have a joke or anything, it is a loss that he's not around anymore, because the more people we have being able to teach people is the better, right? So, but I'm just so glad you found us. So for those of you who don't know, earlier last year I changed up my show. Every week I do he is good people, right? He's a good person. But I changed up my show. Instead of doing the opening hour each week, I started doing the creative hour, because I had felt my creativity had gone down the toilet. And so doing this show every day, it kind of wears you down. So when you do have spare time, you don't have the energy to make music. And so I started doing this creative hour, where I give myself 1 hour to make a song and give you guys the opportunity to give me the prompt, kind of like I'm Suno. I'm a human Suno for an hour. And it really did help me get back into making music. And the pressure was really intense to actually have to try and pull something off each week. And then it got to the point of we did the acoustic one, and I had to make an acoustic song in an hour. And with all these songs, I was just going, yep, well, that's never going to get used. That's never going to get used. That's never going to get used. And then, well, you wanted to do it. Now, did I ask you a question about this? What was the process of going into writing The Maze?
I knew I wanted to contribute to the next charity album, but I didn't really know anyone to ask to collaborate with me. Then when I asked in the chat, you said you would collab. When I heard your song on Creative Hour, I liked it. And even though it wasn't my folksy fallback style, I thought I could work with it. So I asked you for the file. For the lyrics, I wanted to convey a message that might resonate with the kids and their parents going through such an unimaginably difficult situation. I thought about my TEDxKC talk, in which I actually used the phrase gloriously interdependent, and a monologue from my favorite show, The West Wing, in which Leo explains to Josh that people need others who have been in the same situation to guide them out of dark times. Google West Wing, the man in the hole speech. I chose the maze as a metaphor because I wanted to tie it somehow to gaming for the teenagers so they could relate. I haven't played games in a long time, so I asked ChatGPT if that would be close enough and get some wording. My intention was to write lyrics and send them to you to sing. I only used my AI voice to give you an idea of how it might sound. Yes, I put your guitar track in Suno with the lyrics, because that's how I find phrasing and such. Please don't call me I was actually surprised when you kept my vocals and were able to sculpt them to fit your ideas for the song. It turned out to be something I couldn't imagine being a part of creating. I love it.
I love it too so much. And you know, when you sent it to me, there was no way I was going to sing on that. There was no way because I I needed you to have a voice on that song. It was really important to me. And when I heard the what you sent back to me, and hello Javelet in the chat, welcome as well. When you sent me all the parts, they didn't match up properly, right? They would go out a little bit, and I'm like, how do I, you know what? Let's do a live stream and let's chop it all up. And there was one bit in that song which I heard and went, "That's a chorus." And you had repeated the chorus, but it wasn't sung the same. It wasn't the same way, right? Because Suno does its thing. And when I chopped it up, I felt guilty that I was chopping out lyrics, part of the story. But the melody was the most important thing, right? Because all the lyrics, even with those parts I chopped out, they were just half the chorus repeated again, kind of thing. So the story was still in there. But it was super important that your voice was on there. And I don't regret it one bit. It is. There's been 2 songs in my career that I've been a part of that have changed me. And both of them were recorded last year. One with Lizard Day, because for the first time in my life, I released power over my own music and gave it to somebody else and trusted them and let them do whatever the fuck they wanted. And The Maze, because that line, interdependent, is one of the fucking hardest lines I've ever had to fucking learn in a song. I still can't get it right. The phrasing that came back out of that is, and it just is so good. It's so good. It blows me away how good it is. And we're going to close the show with the video clip that Denise has made for it. And Russ says here, it was a no-brainer to open the charity with it. It's a great song. And he put Screaming Rachel to number 2. Now, Screaming Rachel is a Grammy-nominated artist, and she got bumped because of you. Yes, you're a legend. So thank you for helping me get out of my rut making music. I don't even know how to thank you for it. Current health stuff question. Let's find out what the plans are for the future and your health concerns and all that stuff.
CP isn't progressive, but I have put my body through hell trying to keep up with my brain. On top of that, I'm 57 years old, so I'm aging. I have severe osteoporosis in my back and hips, and now take expensive shots twice a year to strengthen my bones. The medication I take that helps me not have so much ataxia is a benzodiazepine, and I've taken it since I was 18. I also take several different medications for pain and for depression and anxiety, some of which is inherited and some is situational. I have been essentially homebound since 2018, except for going to medical appointments and short shopping trips. I'm a very social person, and that has been difficult to get used to. All these things are causing me to have more brain fog, and I don't learn things as quickly as I used to, and that frustrates me. Not to get political, but but the last 10 years have been utterly miserable for me as an American, a woman, and a disabled person. I've chosen to cut ties with many people who I care about. There was one friend who tried to gaslight me into believing that that man didn't mock the reporter with disabilities and couldn't understand why that was an absolute deal breaker for me. Nevertheless, she persisted. Would be one of my tattoos if I could hold still. I have an idea for an EP and another concept for an album. And I have a list of covers I'd like to do too. I have a couple of demos already and lots of lyrics in my head. I'll have to see what the kidney stones have in mind this year and how my back pain does.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck me. It was such a serious answer up until then. Oh my God. No, that was all such serious stuff. And I feel your pain because it is shit. What is going on there is shit. It's not right. It's women. It's the disabled. It's trans people. It's gay. It's everybody it's immigrants. It's everybody who doesn't fit into this fascist agenda, and it's not cool. And yeah, what is the answer? What is the fucking answer? Because it's not coming fast, and releasing the Epstein files doesn't seem like that's going to happen either, does it? So, you know, look, fucking hell. Can we all pitch in for that tattoo for Denise? I want to see that. Listen, out of everything, you know, I'm glad that you actually getting help, getting your health checked and all that kind of stuff. I'm doing it too. I encourage everybody. If you're not feeling well, get on top of it. Get on top of it. Do your best to use the medical stuff that you have, if you still have it. I mean, you know, that's the other thing too. And make sure you're doing as well as possible so you can at least have some enjoyment. We are seemingly being pushed further apart as a species. They want us to hate each other. They want us to fight each other. And this show right here is testament to you're going to have to try fucking harder. Because we're like weeds, right? I said it in the beginning. You can try and cut us back, but we're going to keep coming back. It's the same with music, right? You can try and tell us that AI music's the way to go, generative bullshit, where people who just pop out hundreds and thousands of songs. And it's not, because human endeavors will push through. Stars like Denise Lance will continue to push through and defy the odds. And many of you who are here as well, too. I'm on a soapbox, aren't I? Should I get off my soapbox? I'm trying to not be too political, right? But we all know Donald Trump's a pedophile. Anyway, I said it. I'm probably done now. We're at our last question. This has been, exactly, he is, and we all know it. We're at our last question, and you don't escape like anyone else. Denise, if somebody was considering becoming creative, when would you suggest be the best time for them to start?
Now. Life's too short not to at least try.
Now. Do it now, folks. And if you are not inspired by today, then you have a cold, rotten heart, and you probably should not be around. Because Denise is... Have I covered all the questions?
I think.
You think?
Yeah.
You're the boss. I'm just your bitch.
Oh.
One more?
I want to thank everyone in this community for welcoming me and for sharing so much great music. I was in a rough mental health space when I found you all. You may have literally saved my life. And Jade, I can't adequately express my absolute joy that I found your channel. You have taught me so much, make me laugh every day, and inspire me to be myself and not care what others think of me. If people don't accept me, then they're just cunts.
I was crying.
I want to thank everyone in this community for welcoming me and for sharing so much great music.
You've broken it. You've broken the internet.
One more thing.
One more thing. All right, I'm putting the camera. Yeah.
Hey Jade, thanks for having me on your show.
Ask him if they're Australian enough.
That was an Australian accent. All right, you're a fucking Aussie now, and dropping the C bomb is just the most beautiful thing I've ever heard. And look, I was sitting here crying, and then you dropped the fucking C word and destroyed me. Gary Harbs, hello. Say what you mean, Denise says Studio 6+1. Well, listen, folks. Have you not been entertained today? I challenge you to say no. I hope you've hit the thumbs up. I hope you've gone over to all of Denise's links. They're all in the description. Uh-oh.
Huge thanks to Leela for showing how to make music videos on her channel. I learned so much from watching you.
Leela, congratulations. There you go. Thank you, Leela. You have made her absolute fucking year, right, for that comment there. That is the best. Leela, well done. Listen, guys, all of Denise's links are in the description. Please go and sub up her Dr. Neesy YouTube channel. We're going to close today by playing the premiere of the video clip that Denise created for the maze all herself. And once this show is over, she is going to unlist the video so it will be publicly on the channel. We don't have a premiere set or anything like that. So you'll have to go over and do me a solid and go over and hit as many likes as you can. Get as many people to go over and hit that bloody like button and go and leave her a comment. If you do have any questions that you've wanted to ask throughout this show today and really want Denise to answer, please do so in the comments of this show, and she will be more than happy to get her feet out and tap, tap, tap the answers to you, all right? So she's told me to explicitly let you know that. All right. Are you ready? Now, she sent me this and I don't know what I was expecting. Because every time I don't even know what to expect. And then I got this and was like, are you kidding me? Holy shit. Just better than any video clip I would have made for the song. But this is the premiere of The Maze, which is now available on all streaming services and will be on Bandcamp very soon. I want to thank you all for hanging out here today with us, if you're watching live and if you're watching on the replay. And thank you to DistroKid for sponsoring the show and allowing me to do magical stuff like this. You rock, DistroKid. Thank you so much. So, here we go. Are we ready? I'm incredibly pumped for this. Denise, is there anything... I think you're right. Anything else you want to add? You don't want to call anybody a cunt one more time?
Yeah.
And I want to thank Denise's sister as well, for helping with this today. And Denise, all the work you put into making this happen, the recordings, sending everything to me, just you rock. You rock my world, all right? I love you so much. Folks, let's do it. Enough jib, enough jab. Here we go. This is The Maze featuring Denise Lance and myself. Let's Oge.
Some days the path is clear and wide. Other days I lose my way. I swallow pride, get lost inside, too afraid to say. 3 words I choke on, stuck inside my throat. I can't fake it, can't escape it. I need help, gloriously interdependent. We bend but never break, stronger when we run together. Help is how we elevate. Life is an endless maze, many barriers in our way. You guide me when I stumble, we make it through the stage. 3 words I choke on, but they're the truest thing I've felt. It's not weakness, it's the secret. I need help, stuck inside my throat.